Chapter 19. A brilliant solution for the problem of death. The restless changing of forms is the most manifest feature of reality as a whole. Nothing inside us as well outside remains identical, and it's really odd how our psyche strives to keep safe from life's becoming. The unceasing running of emotions and thoughts with this continuous fidgeting reveal quite openly how our mind is constitutively mobile. It never rests, not even while sleeping, if we accept the soundest sleep. Yet, such change takes place inside a consolidated system of tastes and habits, inclinations and prejudice, reactions which are so unconscious to be nearly mechanic. This system is the base of our balancing act, and however unsatisfying it is, we are nevertheless well fond of it. Indeed, we get hold of it with nails and teeth, and it doesn't matter how dull, senseless, even painful it makes our life. Try to confront the habits and biases of a friend coming to you to mourn about his unsatisfying life. He would be more disposed to excavate your grave than change only one of his daily routines and recurring thoughts. As long as we are young, such a system is still rather malleable, but growing old, the opposition to change increases more and more, till it turns into dull-minded obstinacy. Providentially, sensitivity gets more and more attenuated, and what in the past would have upset and changed us touches us now less and less. The ability of seeing consciously ourselves and what happens around us grows blunter, and more frequently we have recourse to the pacifying mechanism of avoidance. That is, we say no more what we don't want to see, we don't think any longer about what makes us anxious. In such a way we shield ourselves from life's novelties, evading any shake to our by now sclerotic psychic system, and thus saving our daily pace, though at the cost of a depressing interior poverty. There is left nevertheless one problem more. We must die, and this final shock is unavoidable. So, how shall we cope with it? Precisely as regards to this delicate problem, let us listen to what a solution our psyche is able to find. A lady very close to me told me the following dream. It was the sunny afternoon of a nice summer's day. I was sinking into my favorite armchair, doing nothing but loaf after a rich meal with excellent pumpkin croquettes, whose recipe I had recently learnt and which I wanted to experiment with. I closed my eyes, letting me go to the pleasant torpor caused by laborious digestion, but couldn't sleep peacefully as I was assailed with the memory of regrettable recent events. Some days before, there had been the funeral ceremonies of my grandmother, whom I had been very fond of. The painful memory mixed with the pleasant sleepiness, so that I couldn't fall asleep for more than few minutes. Suddenly, sorrow awoke me, then it dissipated, and I fell asleep again, and so on. At once the phone rang. I lifted it, listless. "Hello," said I, but from the other side I could hear nothing but heavy breathing. "Who are you?" I asked, fairly annoyed, and in response came a feeble, disconsolate voice. "Are
You, Bridget? I am your grandmother. Your grandma, Emma.
I heard, leaping out of the armchair, thunderstruck. Who could ever play such an evil trick on me? My grandmother was dead and buried. Yet that voice, that low, tender tone, that cadence was unmistakably typical of my grandmother. I couldn't have any doubt. Grandma, but Granny, how is it possible? No, it can't be true, I said anxiously.
I am your grandma, Emma, you know. I called you for the recipe of those pumpkin croquettes.
It was a hesitant voice, sorrowful and shy. You could even say ill at ease. Granny, Granny, but you are dead, I couldn't avoid stating.
Ah,
yes, Granny, you are dead, I repeated, overcome with emotion.
You take 200 grams of wheat meal and 300 grams of well-boiled red pumpkin. Then you knead them with 100 grams of melted butter. But don't use, yes, I beg you, put a good amount of grated cheese in and just a bit of salt. The oven must be well heated, a minimum of 200 degrees.
Oh, Granny, dear Granny, what are you saying? I protested, and overcome by grief, burst into tears. My grandmother remained silent for a while, then went on with her inopportune recipe impassively.
The oven must be hot. I strongly recommend you. It doesn't take a long time. 20-25 minutes is enough. When meeting, if it seems to you there is too much liquid, add more meal and grated cheese.
How to hear such a recipe from someone who ought to be in the beyond? The absurdity of the situation excited finally my indignation, overwhelming affection and grief, so that I could but stop her. Grandma, Grandma, you are dead. Your funeral was 4 days ago. Why do you call now to tell me the recipe of pumpkin croquettes? I am fond of you. I miss you very much, but Granny, you are dead. Ah, she sighed once more time, and I didn't hear her voice any longer. Poor grandmother, what did happen to her? Death had been too much, and as there is actually no way out of it, she had plainly repressed it, as a psychologist would say. So, as a vagrant psyche, regretfully devoid of bodily support, she successfully wandered, contacting her dear granddaughter to tell her the recipe of pumpkin croquettes. It's to daily life that we get attached in order to forget what annoys us, and still better, to the little banal tastes and activities of every day. Just like the satisfaction of cooking a fine dish of croquettes and teaching the beloved granddaughter the precious recipe. And what about death? But, dear reader, what does it actually matter? This is only a dream, but as our wretched psyche is devised precisely so, he who believes that our psychic system lives on in the beyond could well expect such a puzzling event.